come to the bold analysis. The probability of young people coming out on their numbers on 25th of June to protest in remembrance of those who were killed on that same day a year ago is a reality and has put government in a very delicate balance. They don't just know how they are supposed to navigate that place. And in this podcast, I will demonstrate to you that Raila Odinga is being put in the line to try to pacify the ground so that probably, remember, that is the reason why the broad-based government was brought. So according to them, the broad-based government came for that Panadol to control the temperatures. And I will demonstrate to you that much as that is being said, it is not going to work. Kindly subscribe to our channel. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to you for the very last time as we finish up the last mile of Steve's appeal. And for the last 4 days or so, I have been coming to you to help us respond to the distress about this boy. This boy, Steve, got struck 2 days after his mother died. The mother died, and we supported the mother in this channel here in the month of March. But when he called me, he had suffered stroke and had really remained lonely since he could not be taken to the hospital and also had bed sores. So we had to respond. Tomorrow morning, on this week, I dispatched a team to Kisumu. They took him to the hospital from CI and was referred to Aga Khan, where he is undergoing medication. And of course, tomorrow morning, I will be in Kisumu to even hand over a wheelchair that is really, really needed for him. And I want to still reach out to you and tell you that we still need to support and coalesce around him. The medication is going to take a longer period, even a period of 6 months. It means we are still going to stretch, kubai madawa, still visit, and we are looking at a possibility that they are ruling out any sort of surgery because the situation, they are going to put him in a medication for 6 good months. So I still appeal to you and say, kidogo kidogo ujaze kibaba. This is the last video we're making this mention. And I want to take this opportunity to tell you that we are not yet done. If you still feel you can touch the life of this boy in a special way, the still there. I will still be willing to open that door. You can still reach out. Hata kama ni nini unafeel. Even if you want to go and even prayers. Really, I've been saying we need to pray for him so that he can come out. Yani mimi furaha yangu ni kama kijana atamka atembe. Arudi shule. I saw the mother the other time before the mother died. We stood in the gap. I know what that home means. And I know what it means if this boy can't go back to school. Maybe one day he will change the story. Kidogo kidogo ujaza kibaba. If you're still willing and able to support, kindly just support this mission. Let me tell you, a very good reason and an observation as to why the people of Kenya actually going to protest on 25th today is just look at these tears. Today I was being interviewed somewhere in a television with an international media. I made an interview with an international media. That story will feature somewhere next week during this. And the interviewer asked me a question that, do you think people will go to the street on Wednesday? I told her yes. And I can say yes. It is because while the state postures to have given responses to the things that the masses were asking, but there seemed to be a total breakdown of the social contract between Wanjiku and the leader. And I don't still believe the government has de-escalated the crisis between him and the voter. So recently, of course, this week, for the last 2 days, the state laid a red carpet for Raila Odinga to attend a cabinet retreat. A man who had been denying for several times about how he is not in government, today received the president, and you can see these optics that were taken were needed, received the president in Karen during that retreat. And even if you look at the sitting arrangement, Raila was given the front. And you can look at can look at deputy president, then Raila the other side. You will not be wrong to believe that Raila forms the third leg. If Kindiki is the second leg, then Raila, I think Kindiki is the third leg, or rather they're two-legged government. So Raila forms the second leg of that government. And he was there. And if you look at that, the optics were very necessary for the president, because since Albert Ojwang's death, Raila condemned that killing, but in some, there have been a high PR exercise that collapsed. Wanga went to Ojwang's home and said the way the president and Raila had sent her with some donation for the family, only to come that Raila never gave that money. But Ruto will then sack husband from the Energy Petroleum Authority. 2 days later, or a day later, Wanga exploded on the president. And that broad-based deal was really hanging the balance. Number two, that brought about the issue of Albert came after a successful event in Homa Bay where they laid the red carpet for the president during Madaraka Day. I paid attention to the two highlights of that event, and this is Raila Odinga defending Adani deal. It was very interesting. Remember, Adani deal, reject Adani was amongst the rallying call when young people went to the street.
So I'm happy that you have embraced AI, because it is the way forward in the world today. And Kenya is very strategically situated where we are. We are very fortunate. Kenya can become a hub, a big hub. I was very disappointed when we are not able to move on with the airport contract. That was really very unfortunate. You know, we had awarded the Greenfield airport contract before we left government with Kibaki in 2012. That contract was cancelled. Then it was given again to the same contractor later. But then again cancelled somewhere because of disagreement in the middle. And then now, when we brought in the Adani, they brought all these politics, and then the contract was cancelled. If that is not done, Nairobi will just become dormant. Look at Addis Ababa. It's going, and now they're putting up a new big airport. So Addis Ababa is going to be the hub around. Ethiopian Airlines is the dominant airline now on the continent. Kenya Airways can do the same. Kenya Airways can be the carrier on the continent because South Africa went down. But we are not doing it. You need to find a way. Look at Emirates. The people in the Emirates there do not look at that airline for making profits. It's basically a vehicle bringing investors, tourists, shoppers to the Emirates. KQ can be making losses so long as it's bringing people to our country. See, this is the thing. And put up a big airport in Nairobi. If you don't do it, Rwanda is going to do it. The Kigali will become the hub around here. You can do it here in Nairobi, and Nairobi becomes the hub and becomes the Dubai of Africa.
Yes, it was amongst the demands by the young people when they actually went to the street. And for these reasons, people protested. People demanded answers as to what exactly that was leading to. The protests, and this was needed. And standing right in front of state officials and the president, Odinga told the country, and as a part of distancing himself or rather pacifying the masses, told the country that those who are protesting are actually vouching for extra out of legal avenues to take over power. And this seemed to be the narrative that has been coined by the State House characters so that they can show that, look here, they can try to show government that those who are protesting, they're not protesting on anything Gen Z, but they want to take over power.
The country has seen upheavals in recent days. While there are those praying for more of such turmoil as a possible path to power, there are millions of others working and praying for the nation to overcome, stand, and thrive, no matter our political differences. My position is that leaders are put in place for difficult times to help turn the tide by providing solutions. We are put in place to merely, we are not put in place to merely follow the current. The challenge the national executive must impress on its officials is that they consistently ask themselves, are we leading or following the people? In a time of challenges, are we trying to turn the tide merely or trying to survive by doing what is easy and popular? Are we listening to the people or merely talking at them? From outside, you've seen leaders running away from leading and opting for what is easy and popular. In the budget of 2025-26, we have seen an attempt by the government to address the concerns that led to the upheavals of last financial year. Going forward, the government must look into more avenues for more response to the burdens of the people. This government must do, not in order to be popular or to win the next election, but because it is the right thing to do.
This was needed. I need to say it. It was even, ODM is the target here because if you remember even these goons, most of these goons were Luos. Kwani tukisema, ni hiyo, Most of those goons, they were speaking the Luo. Most of those goons were Luos, by the way. Hao nyukuwa naona huko protest. And if you want to know that someone was already using Odinga to try to pass that message, Cherargei was speaking just some time around there, reviving the old tired narrative of who is funding Gen Z protests.
I know most of our foreign friends, some of our foreign friends are not happy that Kenya is stable. And that is why they are pouring illegal and illicit money to fund some of these demonstrations. So I want to appeal to the government using foreign intelligence networks to be on the lookout for the money that is being sent into the country to finance some of these illicit and illegal activists who use the same money to push for demonstrations and reincarnations that they want to use next week. So the young people should go back to whatever they have to do, but that is the only way we'll save this country. So I want to ask government, because we are aware, some of us are aware that their money that comes from foreign entities through non-governmental organizations, NGOs. And I want to appeal to the regulatory board of NGOs. There are a number of NGO and activists who are known to be funded by foreign entities to create destabilization in the country. Some of those NGO activists should be registered, because it is only in Kenya. You saw even the way deportation of illegal immigrants is happening in US under Donald Trump, and you are saying these are 200 democracy countries. You cannot go there and do what you are doing. They tried to do that in Los Angeles. You saw what the ICE, the one of deportation, the one ICE and the other security agencies, including the Republican Guard in the US, were deployed to quell the riots. And you cannot imagine, some of them are even wearing masks. And we saw a judge in Kenya ruling that police should not wear masks, should not. How do you expect the police to walk around without having the gear to protect themselves? Yet you see even in the US, the ICE are even breaking into people's cars. They are deporting people forcibly. Yet you want to tell us that the US as a country respects the human rights. So we have to do what we have to do as a country to protect, and I hope the police next week will protect lives, property, and ensure Kenyans go their normal duties. Thank you very much.
Maneno haya tumeyazoea. Last time, the government was talking about Uhuru supported funded the protest. Rigathi funded the protest. Ford Foundation. There are all manner of Russia. There are all manner of allegations on who is funding. Matiang'i. Everyone has been named in it. And after that phase, but we said that you can profile the protest on who is funding. You can profile it on that manner. But I wish you reconstruct the profile to go to what are they saying? What do they want? Instead of looking for who has sent them, who is funding them. And this question of funding is, I normally say it's a very blanket thought, because funded or not, do you now want to say that wale wote wenda town, hii NGO yenye inawafund inatoa pesa watu waende? The government has intelligence. They can intercept that money. If there is a money trail from some NGO all the way to the pockets of the protesters, they have the machinery. They have the intelligence. They can intercept and they can be able to stop it. But because of my talking about it, it only shows that there is nothing going on. And so, dragging Raila Odinga, telling Raila Odinga to do it. I've seen the president has also invited youths the same day. I don't know, somewhere for some meeting or so. But probably is looking for a split screen so that if some people are protesting, he will also be spending some time somewhere with some youths, telling them all those manner of stories. I think as a state, there is no plastic surgery for protests, for the Gen Z demands. And you need to look at it this way. Last year protest was on finance bill. People demanded accountability. In fact, they demanded an overhaul of the system. My interviewer asked me, Kevin, we can change the face, we can replace Ruto with some other person. But if the system remains, then we might not be able to uproot and change, turbocharge the country. Now, postponing the problem. We are not responding to the real call. After people came demanding accountability, they were met with bullets and wounds and abductions and all manner of extrajudicial means. Then that created another demand for justice for those who suffered. And that is where there was a deadlock. Because to that point, the state has performed poorly. And this is why I believe that we must reconstruct and reprofile the Gen Z demands. Because why is it continuing? Why is the rage still on? Because the victims are not seeing justice, and in fact, justice is not coming. I saw this terrible video of someone, I think in court, I don't know her, saying, defending, you don't know who killed, there was no police who was armed during protest. This one here. I'm telling you, hata Rex, hakuna yake yenye inajulikana. That is it. And so, sometimes you look at police officer anashoot mtu na kamera iko na ni mchana na watu wanamuona. What tells you that they cannot do it when no one is not seeing them? Number two, even after the Gen Z protest ended, the president promised an end to this. But that has not been promised. That has not been delivered. Successfully, the president has not delivered an end to the injustice on the state dissidents, state dissenters. Raila is perceived as a beneficiary of such ills. So using him to try to suppress the masses is actually a very futile activity. Thank you guys. Tuonani Kisumu next video. After I also see this young man, Steve, hata mimi from Mondays, from Tuesdays, jamona. So tomorrow hata mimi nitaenda and I'll be Kisumu very early in the morning, niweze kumwona, and I'll also give an update about him.